Gets super quiet around here when there's a lot of law enforcement in the house. Oh, no. How are we doing, Andrew? Are we ready? All right. Joe, are you ready to go? Mr. Leach, Director Leach? Okay. All right, then let's call our meeting to order. Good evening, everyone. I'm Paul Doring, the mayor of the city of St. Helena. Welcome to our city council meeting of April 14th. I'll have our clerk do the roll call, please. Mr. Bradley.
Mayor Doring.
Here.
Vice Mayor Deasy.
Here.
Councilmember Barrett.
Here.
Councilmember Spoterato.
Here.
And Councilmember Summers is absent.
All right. Chief Hartley, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, we're on to item 4 of our agenda, adoption of the agenda. Ms. Bradley, are there any changes of note?
Yes, we're removing item 10.1, which is a PG&E easement, and that'll be brought back at a future meeting.
Oh, that would be great. And by the way, when we bring that back, it would be good to have a satellite overview of the area, what it looks like, the actual trees and where everything is located. That would be helpful for me. We have the plat and we have some other information there, but I just want to know where that easement is. So I think that would be noted by Public Works. All right. All right. With that in mind, we're going to be removing 10.1. I'll look for a motion to adopt the agenda with that change.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda minus 10.1.
Second.
A motion and a second to adopt the agenda with the item noted, the change noted. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. That motion passes. We're now on to the approval of the minutes. And these are from our meeting, our regular meeting of March 24, 2026, and a special meeting on April 7th, 2026. Any changes of note? Any corrections needed? Then I'll look for a motion to approve our minutes. Excuse me.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve our minutes from March 24 and April 7th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. That motion passes. Now we're on to item 6, public forum. Members of the public are entitled to speak on matters of municipal concern, not on the agenda during public forum. Each person's comment shall be limited to 4 minutes. Each person is entitled to speak on any non-agendized item only once at any meeting. Brief questions by council members for clarifications may be posed and answered, and council members may make requests that items be placed on future agenda items, on future agendas. But in accordance with state law, no substantive discussion or action may take place unless and until the matter properly appears on the agenda. Welcome.
Thank you.
First up.
Is this working? Okay. Good evening, Mayor Doring and City Council members. My name is Lynn Perez, and I'm a board member of CANV, Community Action of Napa Valley, and I'm here tonight to tell you about some impact that CANV has had on our community. Community Action of Napa Valley was established in 1965 in response to the Economic Opportunity Act aimed at reducing poverty. Originally named Napa City Council for Economic Opportunity, it has since evolved into CANV. CANV's early programs included Head Start, Clinical Aid, Legal Aid, and the Hispanic Network, among others. Today, CANV operates several programs, including the Food Bank, Meals on Wheels, Wellness on Wheels, and 2 preschools for low-income students. The food bank program includes the food pantry, with 7 locations. In Napa County, our food bank and Meals on Wheels programs continue to serve nutritious food to individuals and families and seniors throughout Napa County. In February of 2026, we served 1,598 congregate meals and delivered 9,598 meals to more than 400 homebound seniors, each paired with a wellness check to ensure safety and well-being. In February of 2026, we also distribute over 586,000 pounds of food to 13,850 individuals across Napa County, ensuring uninterrupted service despite concerns around CalFresh benefit reductions. Our food pantry served over 7,000 individuals, including 1,155 individuals in St. Helena. Our free market expands across access to fresh and healthy foods in trusted community locations, serving over 5,000 individuals and families, including 850 at the St. Helena High School site in St. Helena. USDA-supported distributions strengthens food access countywide once a month at 8 locations. We're excited to announce a new USDA distribution site at the St. Helena Spanish Seventh-day Adventist Church, beginning every 3rd Thursday of the month from 2:30 to 4 p.m. Expanding access in the Upper Valley. In the month of February, 303 individuals were served. Our Silver Fox program provides seniors with the opportunity to remain independent as long as possible by providing a box with approximately 10 to 14 items twice a month. In February, we served 450 seniors across the county, including 13 in St. Helena. The food pantry is located at 938 Kaiser Road and is open Tuesday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for walk-ins and 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. by appointment. These efforts reflect our deep commitment to serving Napa County residents across every region, from Napa to American Canyon and the Upper Valley, and we are grateful for the City Council's continued partnership in making this work possible. Thank you. And I'll just pass out the food distribution sites for members. Thank you.
I just want to let you know that I'm very grateful for your service on Canvy. I served on Canvy for several years, so I know the good work that you're doing
thank you.
all throughout the community. Our city benefits, and sometimes it's good for us to know how we benefit because
Yes.
we often don't realize who's actually doing this good work. And so thank you so much
thank
for
you.
being here and
I'm
spreading
a
the
new
word.
board member this year, so thank you.
All right, welcome. All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Others wishing to approach your city council? All right, we'll close public comment. We'll move right along. I did want to note, I'm trying to get better at this, noting the written public comment. We received written public comment from Kelly Wheaton, Tom Belt, Colleen Gillespie, and so thank you for that public comment. And now we're on to item 7 of our agenda, reports by staff and city council, future agenda items, and AB 1234 reports. Ms. Bradley, you want to, either you or Mr. Leach lead that, and if there are any reports, now is the time to do that from our management staff.
Yeah, we will start with 2 announcements by Joe Leach.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and members of the public. First announcement is on May 5th, happens to be Cinco de Mayo, at 4 o'clock in this very same chambers. We will be hearing the streets master plan. We have a dedicated meeting for that. It's a pretty lengthy and robust document, so the idea is that there'll be a presentation by the consultant, and then opportunity for discussion, dialogue, and direction with both the community and the council. And so that starts at 4 o'clock on May 5th. And then the next item, we want to welcome Ms. McHale, Lisa McHale, the new Director of Community Development, started this week, and very excited about her starting. There'll be more of a a meet and greet at the next Planning Commission meeting. So everyone's welcome to attend that as well, which is on a week from today, April 21st. And with that, Andrew, if you want me to pass the baton, or do you?
The baton is ready. Lisa has the next announcement.
Outstanding.
Welcome to the city of St. Helena.
Thank you.
Happy to have you here.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. My name's Lisa Mikhail. I'm the new Director of Community
I'm glad you
Development.
pronounced your name before I did.
Okay. Yes, it's Lisa Mikhail. I'm excited to be here and to serve you all and our community and work with our residents and our staff and the businesses here in the city. With that, the first item that I have to note here is that the EIR that was for the, I hope I'm saying this correctly, Castellucci Adams Hotel and Residence Project. Public outreach meeting happened on April 9th, and the public comment period ends on April 20th. And that's all I have to report. And I'm
All right.
happy to be here and very excited.
All right, thank you. We'll be talking.
Okay.
And then Fire Chief Sorensen and Community Services Director Sylvester have our next two announcements.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Chief Sorensen pushed me up here because I haven't worked here as long. So on behalf of the many city staff working on this special event, we're excited to invite everyone to join us for our sesquicentennial parade as we celebrate 150 years of our community's history, growth, and spirit. This parade will take place on Saturday, April 25th at 1 p.m., beginning on Grayson Avenue and traveling down Main Street to Lyman Park. We have already received over 40 entries into this parade, and this will feature festive floats, local organizations, music, historic and vintage cars, and plenty of community pride. The theme this year is 150 years of community pride, so we'll be set to see that on this day. The parade's gonna end at Lyman Park. We'll have food trucks, music, family lawn games, and approximately 45 minutes after the last parade float entry goes through, we'll have awards that judges will be looking at throughout the whole parade and be able to give out approximately 45 minutes after that last parade float goes through. So we encourage residents, families, and visitors to come out, line Main Street, and be part of the special milestone with everybody. Again, that is Saturday, April 25th, starting at 1 p.m. Thank you very much.
All right. And refresh my recollection, I understand we have some Shakespeare coming to town?
We do. On May 2nd, Saturday, May 2nd, we will have Shakespeare in the Park in Lyman Park. This first time we're bringing Shakespeare in the Park here, so we're very excited. It's going to begin at 5 p.m. in Lyman Park. So May 2nd, we'll see you out there. It's a very, Julius Caesar will be the play.
Julius Caesar, a lot to learn about
Here we go.
politics, put it that.
It was the only show they had, so thank you so
All
much,
right,
Mr.
thank
Mayor.
you. Be kind to your mayor. All right. Is that it, Mr. Bradley?
Carlos, one more announcement.
And then I have to turn to our city attorney. I haven't forgotten.
Oh, you can do it now.
Not yet. Let's.
He has one,
Oh, he has something
event
separate.
announcement.
Okay.
or do you want to do it? Up to you.
No, let him do it now, and then we'll go to the city attorney. Welcome. How are you?
Good evening, council and members of the public. I want to announce we're going to be holding a Parks and Rec meeting on Monday, April 20th, 5:30, and we will be joined by Napa RCD and Curtis, let me pronounce his last name, Ewing, from CAL FIRE to learn more about the small but mighty insect in the Napa County called the Mediterranean oak borer, also known as MOB for short. So once again, it's April 20th. He will have a great presentation, about 20 minutes, where we get to learn about what it's doing to our valley oaks. We recently lost one. I think everyone was aware of it, right there on the corner of Pope and Childs. And unfortunately, it is prevalent in that corridor, and that's what we've seen. So if you want to learn more, please come by 5:30 on Monday. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Uribe. All right. And Mr. Walsh, we need to report out from our closed session.
We do. We actually have a handful of closed sessions to report out from. After our last regular meeting on March 24th, at the end of that meeting, we had a special closed session on two items conference with legal counsel regarding litigation filed against the city by Reed Woodson, and public employee performance review for the city manager. There was a unanimous action by the council to direct the city attorney to defend the lawsuit filed by Mr. Woodson, and there was no reportable action on the city manager performance review. On April 7th, the council held a special meeting, closed session, to discuss, to have a conference with labor negotiators, with all of the city's represented and unrepresented bargaining groups, and conference regarding public employment for the interim city manager position. And then finally, and there was no reportable action from either of those items either. And then finally, immediately prior to this meeting, we had a closed session regarding conference with legal counsel regarding potential litigation, and again, no reportable action. And that is the sum of our closed sessions.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Walsh. Okay, we are now on to presentations and public recognitions. We have, pleased to note that we have several tonight. We have a proclamation proclaiming April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month, proclamation of National Library Week, Arbor Day proclamation, and then we have a presentation by Ms. Chateau, presentation of U.S. Congressional Record recognition honoring the retirement of Police Chief Chris Hartley from Congressman Mike Thompson. And we also have a similar presentation of a California State Senate resolution authored by Senator Chris Cabaldon, District 3, and co-signed by California Assembly Majority Leader Cecilia Aguiar-Curry. That will be presented by Mr. Pater. And then after all of that, we'll take a little break and we'll have a little celebration with Chief Hartley. And I understand there's cake and potentially some donuts, although that has not yet been confirmed. And don't blame me for that, Chief. I was not the instigator of the donuts. All right. So let me take a moment to read some of these proclamations. And then I'll invite just a couple minutes if folks are here to speak on any of these issues. That'd be great. And pardon me, a lot of stuff in the air today, so I'm a little congested, but I'll do my best. All right. So we have here, I signed all of these. The first one is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Whereas news, domestic violence, and sexual abuse services provide safety, support, and advocacy for those experiencing sexual abuse. This year we honor 25 years of Sexual Assault Awareness Month and the shared commitment to end sexual assault, abuse, and harassment. Whereas rape, sexual assault, and sexual harassment harm our community. Statistics show that over half of women and almost 1 in 3 men have experienced sexual violence, and that sexual violence disproportionately affects women, minors, and racial and ethnic minority groups. Whereas this Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we underscore that we believe survivors, that we believe violence has no place in our homes, our schools, or our community, and that we believe safety, dignity, and respect are not privileges, they are rights. Whereas by observing April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we show that our city can lead with courage and is committed to supporting survivors and to preventing sexual violence across generations. Now, therefore, I, Paul Doring, Mayor of the City of St. Helena, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month in St. Helena, and I call upon the entire community, not only in April, but all year long, to take action to end sexual violence. And are you here from this group? Please, I'll give you a few minutes. I'll hand this to you. Shake your hand this to you, and I'll allow you to have a few minutes at the mic. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, and I'll stand over here and take those away.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Thank you for having us here. So my name is Alma Garcia, and I'm here with my colleague, Araceli Martinez. We advocate for victims of sexual abuse at News. For many of us, early conversations about safety focus on stranger danger. What often isn't talked about is that harm is more likely to come from someone known and trusted, and how difficult it can be to recognize it or find the words to speak about it. Children and adults alike are left wondering, how do I tell someone? What will happen to my family? What will happen next? Will I even be believed? These questions are the fear behind them, and part of what keeps so many survivors silent. We don't always want to face how often sexual abuse occurs in our community, but awareness requires honesty, and honesty requires courage. This year's Sexual Assault Awareness Month theme is We Believe. Those two words matter. For every survivor who comes forward, many more remain silent. That's why having a confidential and safe place to turn is essential. At News, our Sexual Assault Victim Service program ensures survivors are heard, believed, and supported. These proclamations are more than symbolic. They are a public commitment that says, you are not alone. We believe you. Healing is possible. We would also like to invite the community to join us on Sunday, May 3rd at 2 p.m. We will gather for Walk a Mile in Napa Valley at the Napa Yard. It's a visible, united stand to show that in our community we believe and we support survivors. To register as an individual or a team, please visit napanews.org. Thank you for your partnership and for standing with survivors in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Now we have a proclamation, National Library Week. Libraries spark creativity, fuel imagination, and inspire lifelong learning, offering a space where individuals of all ages can explore new ideas and be drawn to new possibilities. Whereas libraries serve as vibrant community hubs, connecting people with knowledge, technology, and resources while fostering civic engagement, critical thinking, and lifelong learning. Libraries provide the opportunity for everyone to pursue their interests and passions, allowing them to live their best life. Whereas libraries provide free and equitable access to books, digital tools, and innovative programming, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of background, have the support they need to learn, connect, and thrive. Libraries have long served as trusted institutions for all members of the community, regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or socioeconomic status. Whereas libraries strive to develop and maintain programs and collections that are as diverse as the populations they serve and ensure equity of access for all. Whereas libraries adapt to the ever-changing needs of their communities, continually expanding their collections, services, and partnerships, libraries play a critical role in the economic vitality of communities by providing internet and technology access, literacy skills, and support for job seekers, small businesses, and entrepreneurs. Whereas libraries are accessible and inclusive places that promote a sense of local connection, advancing understanding, civic engagement, and shared community goals. Libraries are cornerstones of democracy, promoting the free exchange of information and ideas for all. Libraries, librarians, and library workers are joining library supporters and advocates across the nation to celebrate National Library Week. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Paul Doring, Mayor of the City of St. Helena, proclaim National Library Week, April 19th to the 25th, 2026. During this week, I encourage all residents to visit their library to find their joy amidst the wealth of resources available. And there are many. I encourage all of you to visit our library to see what's going on, and including Paul Doring, myself. I need to take a few more visits. Thank you. Yeah, if you'd like to say a few words, I'd be happy to have you. I'll give that to you.
Thank you for
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Deborah Clayman-Boshin. I'm here as the chair of the Library Board of Trustees, and thank you all for this recognition. And I feel like you covered a lot of the most pertinent parts of the importance of the St. Helena Public Library. But as a representative of our board, I hope this recognition also represents a commitment to prioritizing some of the urgent capital infrastructure needs of our library. In a world that increasingly feels disconnected, the library is an equalizer where every citizen has access to resources. The library is also one of our town's only emergency refuges and a physical anchor key to our social infrastructure. Whether it's a student studying, a senior getting tech help, or a child discovering their first favorite book, it's where community happens in St. Helena. This proclamation is a great way to recognize that our city is smarter and kinder because of that building and the people who run it. Thank you for giving it your support.
Thank you. Not only a proclamation, but it's show me the money. I love that. No, our library needs some work for sure. All right, we're on to at least my last proclamation and my colleague's proclamation, then we'll move on to the other presentations. This is Arbor Day. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. Whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. Whereas trees reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. Trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. Whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. Whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Whereas the city of St. Helena has been recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation for 26 years and desires to continue its tree planting practices. Now, therefore, be it known that the city of St. Helena has declared the 22nd day of April 2026 as Arbor Day and will be holding tree plantings in recognition of Arbor Day for the purpose of expressing our support for efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. Mr. Rubé, please. That to you. Have a few words, please.
Yes,
Thank you.
Again, good evening. My name again is Carlos Uribe. Thank you for the recognition and the proclamation that we receive on behalf of the city. Again, this be a component to apply again for our next Tree City USA application coming up. And in celebration of Arbor Day, we will be joining forces with Recreation and Earth Day. So we'll be planting, we've decided on 5 blue oaks at Crane Park next Wednesday, April 22nd at 10 p.m. So, 10 a.m. I don't know who's going to be there that late trying to plant some trees, right? We do have lights out there, though. But we would like to invite everyone who is available to stop by and join us and help us plant the next, probably like the 3rd generation of trees out at Crane Park. So everyone's invited. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Chief Hartley, the heavy hitters to come to town to present you with a lot of important words. A lot of words. Mr. Toe, you want to, I'll meet you, and then Mr. Hartley, you might want to come to the podium too. Zana Chateau, Field Representative for Congressman Mike Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council, so much. And Chief Hartley, I am here tonight on behalf of Congressman Mike Thompson to present to you a congressional records statement. This was read on the House floor to honor your 27 years of service. I spoke to Chief Hartley earlier. The congressman has never asked me 3 times, like, I get to be there, right? And I'd say, no, you're not. I get to be there. And once again, last week, he said, no, Anna, I'm going to be there. This one's really important. And I could tell it really was for him. And when I think back about those 27 years, our police chief is in charge of the safety of our city. That impacts all of our lives. Public safety really is what is at the heart of what makes us feel good about where we raise our families, where we retire to, and it's something that, 27 years ago, we didn't all have our smartphones, as I was thinking. What a world. We didn't have the fires that surrounded our community. We didn't have a pandemic and all the ongoing mental health challenges and the economic challenges that have come since then with the 27 years that we feel even in our small towns, and you don't realize until you talk to a public safety officer what that means with their day-to-day. And we are so lucky up here in this small town despite all of the challenges, and a big part of that comes down to the person at the top and how you conduct your business. So we just say thank you from the congressman. And I wanted to read a really brief section because it shows so much more of what Chief Hartley did in addition to his time as chief. Yeah, I did. I know. Thank you. Chief Hartley is dedicated to helping our Napa Valley community and has served as a member of the St. Helena Rotary Club, Napa Elks, Veterans of Foreign Wars, and the A to Z Foundation for Disabled Veterans. He has continued to serve St. Helena through his support of the Up Valley Family Center, Napa Emergency Women's Shelter, We Care Animal Rescue, Monarch Education Center of Napa Valley, and the Napa Victims Witness Services. Chief Hartley trains and supports law enforcement in the Napa Valley and across California through his work as an instructor with the Napa Valley College Police Academy, a chairman of the board for Napa County Special Investigations, and a member of the California Police Chiefs Association, FBI National Academy, California Gangs Association, and the California Narcotics Association. That is a lot of lives that you've touched. So thank you very much, and we wish you well in your retirement.
Thank you very much. Can I join you in this photo? Thank you. Mr. Pater? Mr. Pater is representing our state representatives, has a similar proclamation. Welcome to our community. I'll let you have the mic.
Well, it's always a good day when I get to be in St. Helena, so it's good to be back up here. I'm Alex Pater, District Director for Senator Christopher Baldwin, also here on behalf of Assembly Member Cecilia Aguilar-Curry. Really just want to say thank you, commend you, congratulate you, wish you the best. We also have a resolution that will forever be housed in the California State Archives. And I'll just read the last whereas and the resolved. Whereas, as a mentor and collaborative leader who holds a position of passion for the community, and 27 years, that says a lot about dedication. That's a long time to have a career, and I think that alone demonstrates your support, care, and love for the city of St. Helena and the community that we have here. Sorry, I got taken away there, but a passion for community, transparency, and accountability. Chief Chris Hartley exemplifies the dedication of law enforcement leaders throughout California who seek to provide the highest level of service and protection for their communities. Now, therefore, be it resolved Senator Christopher Cabaldon and Assembly Member Cecilia Aguilar-Curry that they take immense pleasure in recognizing and thanking Police Chief Chris Hartley of the St. Helena Police Department for providing the highest level of service and protection to the St. Helena community, extend him the best and sincere best wishes for a rewarding and gratifying retirement. Congratulations. Thank you.
Let me get in on the other side. Yeah. I'm not shy. And Chief Hartley, we don't have a proclamation, but the words of poetry are in this bottle. From the city of St. Helena. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll be talking. All right, thank you.
Do I get the podium for a second?
You do, and yes, of course, and then we're going to take a little break and enjoy a little cake and something else.
Something
Yeah,
else.
Go ahead, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. It has been my complete honor to serve the city of St. Helena for the last 27 years. I'm going to be very short, but my dad always told me growing up, whatever you borrow, whatever you touch, always leave it better than you found it. Well, I can honestly say that with our department, it is better than when I came. Our officers, we ensure, are the highest trained officers in the county. We lead the county. Whenever there's a new training, we're the first ones to go. I'm extremely honored to have served with them, served for this community, and I want you all to know you are definitely in good hands with me stepping out. I'm stepping out. I'm not going anywhere, so I will be watching, but thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Just a brief note, over the last 12 years, actually even before that, I've gotten to know the chief fairly well. We couldn't be more different in all ways, but I have the greatest respect for you and your integrity and the service that you've given to our community, and I'm very pleased that you've become a friend of mine, and I hope you feel the same. So thank you, Chief Hartley. All right. Okay, we'll take a little break, maybe 15 minutes. Thank you, and we'll have some cake.
meet you too. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. No, that's okay. We're going to reconvene now. Finish up. All right. Wow, that cleared out the room. Cake. They're now going to get the ice cream downtown at Erosion. Little plug there. All right. Okay. As I understand it, there may be some staff briefings on item 9. Mr. Leach, are there any other reports? Do we have any other reports? Do you know?
We do not, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. All right, then we're moving on to our consent calendar. As you know, the item 10.1 has been removed, postponed for a future date. And so we have another matter on the consent calendar. Anyone wishing to pull that item for discussion? That's the SCADA system item for $109,718. Anybody from the community wishing to? Yes, Ms. Rose, I see you. Anyone in the community wishing to speak on this? Mr. Rose, now would be the time. I assume you want it pulled so that you can discuss it, and I will pull it so that you can discuss it. All right.
That is correct.
All right.
My name is Gary Rose, Vineyard Avenue, St. Helena. Mayor, council members, vice mayor. This is item 10.2, and reading the RFP for the SCADA upgrade and also reading the resulting proposal, I have the following comments. And I regret that this is coming up at this time, but it's the way the system is sort of set up. I should have been able to do this earlier, I suppose, and it may be partly my fault for not getting involved. But the RFP requests a preliminary design, but the proposal seems more as a general, it seems more general and essentially offers a study. And it talks about a design, but it's a very general overview of trying to respond to the RFP. And if I were responding to the RFP as a consultant, I probably would have done it the same way. But my point is, since there seems to be consensus that we need major revisions to the water or to the SCADA for the water enterprise, I feel that the $120,000 that we are committing to would be better spent on a more detailed design effort that would allow the next step to be the awarding of a contract to a SCADA integrator. The result of this proposal seems to me likely to be another RFP that then will be asking for a more detailed design before a SCADA integrator can be hired. I think a single combined study design could be commissioned that would save time and money. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for the comment. Mr. Leach, any response to the notion of maybe combining the actual work with the design, saving money? I know I'm paraphrasing.
Absolutely. So our project manager, Mr. Bruce Ziani, who we hire as a part-time project manager, professional engineer, he reached out to, I think, in advance of development of the RFP to at least 3 firms that do this type of work to really kind of get their feedback on, and it's not telling the fox how to guard the hen house, but it's more of how do professionals do this kind of work to go from both preliminary design then into integration. And I put it in the procurement model of design build, where this stage is really kind of an assessment and development of design parameters, for which then we can do actually a request for bids to go out out if for whatever reason we don't want to continue with Canon, because they are an integrator as well. We could go out to bids and probably the same proposers who proposed on this RFP might end up requesting or proposing on the request for bids. So I can completely appreciate Mr. Rose's comments and understand that if we were to just go directly to somebody to develop both design and integration, the challenge that we have is that the integrators need to assess and evaluate what it's going to take to do the integration in advance. And so the staging of the delivery of the project kind of helps navigate the unknowns.
All right. Anyone else wishing to make public comment on this matter? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment, bring it back. Questions, concerns from my colleagues? Any other deliberations? Ms. Deasy.
Yeah, thank you for the I was interested in this also, as I follow water. So thank you for the public comment and for the response. So is the idea that we're doing the preliminary design now, and then there would be a bid for a final design, and then I guess builds, but maybe not even builds all at once. Maybe sort of like different stage projects as we go. It depends on what we find out now. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, the expectation is this scope is going to put together a preliminary design, as it's kind of delineated, which also includes a high-level budget. And so as we navigate the budget, which my expectation is going to be, it's going to exceed what we've put currently in our capital program, then we'll have to vet that through the Water Wastewater Advisory Committee and the council in terms of how we want to stage the implementation. And then that'll drive the next stage of, the first stage of implementation and subsequent stages.
All right. Others?
Thank you.
Did I answer your question?
Other comments or questions in terms of moving forward with this or waiting to have a reassessment? I mean, I think generally I agree that there are always potentials when you combine design and final design with the actual integration or the work itself. I don't know if that is the case here. I mean, that doesn't always happen that way. I guess I wish is it Zeni? I would
Zeni?
I'd have more questions for him if he was here. I think you've represented it the best you can from what you know. Are there concerns about moving forward with this? I mean, I think it's a point well taken, Mr. Rose. We want to at least investigate that, and not just. I think it's so critical that I'm ready to move forward. But if others are not, I'm happy with that. Point well taken, but I think we need to move forward and do the assessment. It's not the best, maybe. Who knows? It's obviously not in my expertise at all.
Mr. Mayor, if I could add another comment
Please.
as well.
Please do.
We negotiated with Canon as well to do an accelerated schedule, as you'll note in the staff report.
I saw that, yeah.
For an additional fee, I believe it was $10,000 to cut off a couple weeks off of their total schedule. Knowing that the implementation of this item is critical to both the operation and, as we've discussed in a variety of forums, critical to water quality in the community.
All right, and I also note that the Canon firm is familiar with our system.
Yes.
Yeah, which helps. All right. Well, then I'll look for a motion if someone wishes to make a motion on item 10.2.
I'll make the motion to move forward with SAC recommendations on 10.2.
Yeah, there's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Ms. Bradley, roll call, please.
Councilmember Spoterato,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Deasy,
Yes.
Councilmember Barrick,
Yes.
Mayor Doring.
Yes. All right. Okay, we're on to, let's see, we do not have any public hearings tonight. We have no old business. So we're on to new business. And let me get my notes here. Okay, we're on to item 13.1, approval of a resolution awarding nonprofit grant funding through the nonprofit grant program fiscal year 26-27 operations budget in the total amount is $75,000. Mr. Leach, do you want to, Ms. Kellogg, do you want to give a brief staff report, please?
Yes, good evening, Mayor and council members. So this item relates to the fiscal year 27 nonprofit grant funding. On January 8th, staff posted grant guidelines and opened up the grant application period to the community to submit their applications. The applications were due by February 20th. The city received a total of 21 applications with requests totaling $223,788. The council working group consisting of the mayor and vice mayor reviewed those applications and made recommendations for funding in the fiscal year 27 budget and kept to the budgeted amount of $75,000. And we do have a brief presentation here which just highlights the requests and what the recommendations are. Erica, do you mind going to the first slide? Unfortunately, we couldn't fit it all on one page and make it viewable, but this first page here shows the first number of applications that were submitted. And then go to the next slide. And then you have the next set of applications, again, showing that $223,000 that was requested and recommended amounts for $75,000. And so then I'll turn it over to council to deliberate on the recommendations.
All right. As I say every year when we do this, this is in addition to the three $30,000 grants we make. Can you explain that portion of our annual requests? Those are more in contracts, I assume.
That's correct. There are 3-year contracts with Rionda House, Boys and Girls Club, and Up Valley Family Centers, and they each receive $30,000 per year during that 3-year time period. This upcoming year would be their 2nd year in that contract.
All right. Thank you for that clarification. Clarifying questions, comments from my colleagues? Mr. Barrett.
I think it looks great. I remember last year some tough decisions were made due to our budget deficits. I like what you've done. I'd like to talk a little bit about the nonprofits beyond our city limit, and just say that a place like the MAC, where they bring art and culture, and it's just like 10 feet away from the city limits. I hope we can find creatively as a council, work together to find a way to extend the goalposts for institutions like that, and also provide them some help.
Yeah, it's a point well taken. I think we can always work on incremental changes to our program, the policies that we have, what we're trying to achieve. We have limited dollars, unfortunately. We used to give out much more back in the day. But I think that, I think that's something we can always take a look at. You're right, that's one good example that comes to mind, and there are a few others. But just to clarify, our policy is that we do not fund nonprofits that are outside, and outside's a broad term because I don't know what else to use. What is our policy exactly?
They need to be serving the residents.
Serving the residents.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And so there could be an argument that I don't think that the MAC applied, actually, and it may have been one that we would have grappled with had they applied.
Yes. No, they did not apply this year. My understanding was that they were encouraged not to because of the situation. Okay. So maybe there was an interpretation issue we can follow.
We'll have to revisit that and maybe tighten up the policy a little bit there, and happy to work with you on that, or others who want to do that. All right. Any public comment? I'll open public comment. Invite it, please. Anyone? I guess you can't say thank you until we approve it, but welcome. Justin.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. I'm Justin Ammon with Nimbus Arts. I'm the Director of Development there. Thank you very much for this, for considering our application. We are seeing numbers in our classes and in our free community outreach and community events climbing over the last few years. Our hopes was the funding would keep pace, but we do absolutely understand budget constraints. Thank you very much for your partnership.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your service.
Hi, I just wanted to say thank you on behalf of On the Move and LGBTQ Connection for the anticipated positive response to our movie night. We'll kick off it at the library. We hope to encourage more LGBTQ youth to find a safe space with us. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. The one thing that has occurred to me, Mr. Walsh, is that it would be my preference if we could set aside the Nimbus Arts one and do that separately in a separate motion if we're inclined to approve it. I will not vote on that. I probably should have announced that earlier. My daughter works for Nimbus Arts. I'm not sure if it's a technical conflict, but I would feel better if I just stepped aside. So is that okay with you, Mr. Walsh, or?
That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Right.
So if there's, if that's okay with folks, I will entertain a motion for all except Nimbus, and then I'll step out and have you all do the other one.
I make a motion to approve the recommended grant awards with the exception of Nimbus Arts.
I second.
Mr. Bradley, there's a motion and a second by Vice Mayor Deasy. Mr. Barrick?
Vice Mayor Deasy?
Yes.
Councilmember Barrick?
Yes.
Councilmember Spoterato?
Yes.
Mayor Doring?
Yes. All right. And I'll let the Vice Mayor handle this next one, and I will be right here.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve the Nimbus Arts grant.
I'll second.
Councilmember Spoterato?
Yes.
Councilmember Barrick?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Deasy?
Yes.
I feel better. I know. All right. Thank you for that indulgence. All right. So now we are on to item 13.2. Mr. Leach, is Mr. Leach on, or is he, Mr. Traverso? Oh, it sounds like Mr. Traverso is ready to introduce the item, the staff report, and we'll go from there. Thank you all. Thank you for your work in our community.
Well, good evening, council members, community members. My name is Mario Traverso. I'm a project manager with Public Works. I'm the project manager for the water treatment plant staff housing project. I took over the project late fall after Leslie Milton had introduced it previously. This is an aerial view of our treatment facility. I'm sure many of you have been up there. Next slide, please. At the facility, at the entrance gate at 410 Crystal Springs, we do have a residence. It's 1,040 square feet. The residence was installed in 1980. Next slide. The residence was utilized for staff housing, specifically by the chief plant operator, up until 2020. This allowed staff to be on site to respond to call-outs, alarms, any general situation that the plant needed. These are a couple pictures from the kitchen of the residence, and this is the master bathroom vanity. Generally, staff housing at the facility represents a savings for us in staff time spent commuting back and forth to respond to the plant, as well as general cost savings over what we were spending with the OTS contracts historically. Next slide, please. A little bit more about the existing structure. It's a double wide manufactured home. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it is dated in almost all the aspects. It's been vacant since 2020. It really was just moved out of and left in the condition and it remains in that condition. The entrance ways, the decking are all deteriorated. The roof is in rough shape as well. And next slide, please. So when we started to pursue the the idea of rehabilitating this or creating some new staff housing, our first option was to look at what it would take to remodel this. Leslie Milton did perform an inspection and a analysis of the existing scenario, and it came back at about $100,000 just to make the structure habitable. And that involved cleaning, HVAC, changing the appliances, possibly removing the carpet, some deck repairs, cleaning up the bathrooms, removing some wallpaper, but nothing really, everything was pretty much cosmetic. I did reach out to 2 contractors who visited me at the site to talk about a full remodel, which would include basically removing everything, gutting the whole thing, 2 full bathroom remodels, kitchen remodel, removing all the drywall, windows, doors, some minor electrical upgrades, and we kind of had to cap it at $250. Things were just continually adding up. So basically, the $250 mark was a full interior remodel. That didn't include any exterior work, such as painting, roof, decking. This was just interior work. So all of those considerations would need to come into play at some point, whether they were included in this remodel attempt or another one. Next slide, please. So we also looked at the modular house, and so in the staff report, I kind of talked about the difference. The modular house is a very popular concept right now. It's an item that is partially assembled at a facility, and then it is permanently installed at the site. It does require significant foundation, grading. I mean, it is basically building a custom home. And so while these are really attractive, they're a really cool option, the price tag for them was surprising. The ones available, or the ones that we were looking at, were in the 600 to 800 square foot range, or designed as an ADU in particular, and the price tag for those was roughly $300,000 for the product. And when we were looking at the larger units, we're in the $500,000 range. This presents procurement issues, and it also could take over a year to occupy just due to the nature of the project and that it is essentially a custom home build. And that led us to the manufactured home. The manufactured home is a class of products that's federally regulated. It's wholly built at a manufacturing facility and transported by a truck and delivered to a development site. The units are essentially move-in ready, turnkey, aside from the initial installation. And generally the ADU size units would be half of a double wide, and the price range for those is anywhere from $60,000 to $100,000. And so when you double it to make it a single family home or increase the square footage up to 1,000, you're looking at doubling the price essentially, anywhere from $150,000 to $200,000. This unit is one that when we started researching and shopping around for units, this unit was a lot model that was discounted. It suited the considerations at the time that we were considering. There was an effort, or there was an importance put on, quality build, aesthetics, a modern interior, something that could be, used by current staff, but also future staff, something large enough to accommodate kids or a family. And so we were really, that kind of ruled out the small 600 square feet ADU option. And so back to this unit, it's 1,040 square feet, so it's exactly the same footprint as the existing one. There was a discount associated with this particular model, and it was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath unit. Next slide. And as I said, there are quite a few benefits to this. Like I said, it's brand new, modern finishes. It's extremely energy efficient. It meets a really rigorous federal criteria for manufactured homes. These are proven to be long-lasting and customer happy products. And like I said, it is the construction is federally regulated. So I did provide a relatively detailed cost breakdown. It's essentially, there's 2 components: purchasing the unit and then installation and setup. And the unit purchase is, this unit is provided by Clayton Homes out of the Santa Rosa office. The installation is performed by a separate contractor. We did solicit 2 quotes for installation. The first quote we got was $139,000, which didn't include fire sprinklers. The second quote we received was $129,000, and that was including fire sprinklers, which was a significant cost, probably about $10,000. So the delivery cost is a separate item, the installation cost, and then I have utilities there. For this particular unit is set up for gas, which we do not have gas service currently at the site. So we would be either having to set up a propane tank for gas service, or we'd have to do some conversions to the utility, some of the items to electric. Next slide, please. I know there's a lot of questions, and I'm here to answer any questions you have regarding the modular home.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Verso, for that presentation. Any initial questions from my colleagues? Ms. Barrett.
Question. Do we know, can you baseline us on what we thought we were approving from a cost perspective the first time around?
Sure. Yeah. Just to provide some context with that, the original staff report brought to the council in the fall from Leslie, the vision of that staff report was to install 2 small units, 2 modular units, 600 to 800 square feet, and the price tag associated with that was almost $500,000, 400 and some change. So when we came to council, after I picked up the project and we came to council, or during that council session, the project didn't get approved as a CIP. There was no official action at that time. It just was a informational item. And so when we started to move the project forward, we looked at her numbers, and we decided that we were only going to move forward on 1 unit. And so I basically took half of that cost and kind of workshopped, thinking I could get a lower cost item, and still thinking we were going for a 600 to 800 square foot unit. And at that time, 150 seemed relatively reasonable. And that was, like I said in the staff report, a placeholder to get the project on the books so we could get moving on on the project. After the research, you don't really figure out the price tag on a lot of these items until you're pretty deep into working with salesmen, and so that's when the prices started to become more apparent.
I would also add that as we're evaluating kind of both short, medium, and long-term use of this facility, the idea that to be able to have something that's equivalent to the size that's there now for a cheap plant operator having dependents, I mean, it would be difficult to have dependents in a facility that's 600 square feet. Not impossible, but you know, it has its challenges. But I mean, that was kind of part of the visioning that we started kind of embarking on as well.
So, and baseline us on, right, we have a plant director and we're giving, in lieu of having a home ready, we're giving $1,000 per month as a housing stipend. Is that accurate?
It's a 1,500.
1,500.
Yes.
Thank you, Director Kellogg.
Correct. That is correct.
What, I don't understand that. The 1,500 is, say that one more time.
It's to help with rental assistance until the modular is available for them to move into. Yes.
That's what is currently being paid?
That's correct.
Okay. And rent will be charged if something is constructed?
That's correct. It was anticipated the rent would be about $1,000 per month.
I understand. Vice Mayor.
Yeah, thank you. I understand when we initially read this, there's the large bump up is surprising and maybe a little disappointing, but am I correct that it is still a cost savings? My understanding is that OTS, when we were paying them, right, their hourly charge is like $165. So with having someone in-house, my understanding that the all-in cost, but I do want to confirm that that includes like the long-term pension liabilities is $100 per hour. So the way it all worked out to me is that we've got a big save, something like you worked this out, $134,570 a year. So we've got like a 2.75 year point to break even. Is that right? And at that point we start saving money. Does that make it so? The idea is that it's kind of a shocking price increase, but it's still a significant cost savings in the long term.
That's correct. When we evaluated the full-time cost for an OTS operator compared to our full-time cost for our operator, it is approximately $134,000 more a year with OTS.
All right. Other questions? Let me open public comment. I'll take public comment on the matter now. And if anybody's approaching the podium, I'll mention that we have received written public comment from Mr. Belt, Tom Belt, Elaine DeMann, Celeste Neely, Kelly Wheaton, Jordan Coonrad, Colleen Gillespie. Thank you for your public comment. Anything else? Doesn't look like anyone's wishing to comment other than the written comment, so I'll close public comment and bring it back to the council for deliberations. Mr. Barrett.
So, understandable, things have changed. Housing's expensive, right? We know that. At this point, and I get the mathematics that you guys have laid out, and nice job to kind of game out when we hit break even and theoretically start making money. But the funny thing with houses, they break and things fall off it, and sometimes you get people that don't want to, it's not suitable for them, and it becomes a tool that isn't attractive. What's the thought about maybe scrapping the house and leaning into the housing stipend as an alternative and get out of the game of, I mean, we don't really have a long-term idea of how we take care of our existing bill. It makes me nervous, particularly at this price point. Is there thoughts around that? I'm opening it to staff as well.
Well, I would like to hear about the sort of the logistics and the public safety issues and the ability to have somebody respond to issues that arise fairly quickly.
Yeah.
That to me is a huge advantage that we don't have with a stipend. Maybe you can comment on that, and I understand your point, but that's intriguing to me and important to me to make sure that I mean, that's something, in addition to retention, recruitment and retention of the certified operators, having someone in there. And is that a real thing or not?
Yeah, if I could comment, Joe and Eric.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so, you know, I think the main driver for our current situation isn't necessarily the financial one, it's more logistics. And so whether it's having to move constantly. I'm not sure exactly how many times our current chief operator has had to move just due to the rental scenario. But I know that that's a huge, that's a huge consideration for her personal life is, having to continually move, as well as where she resides now. I think it's in Calistoga. I mean, it's, can be an hour round trip multiple times a day on the weekends at night. And so that level of, engagement and that lifestyle, she's been with the city now for 2 years. And I think both having to continually move and just the constant need to be responding to alarms, situations, has just been a real, something serious to deal with for her on a personal level. So that's the real driver. I don't know if the stipend would alleviate that component of it.
I would also like to add that when we looked at like the average market rent in this area to get her closer to that location, we're looking close to $3,000 a month, and those rent prices are ever increasing.
I do think that Mr. Barrick makes a good point. Again, and I always like to say binary, decision. Sure. We can still go down that path for other employees that maybe don't fit that operator. That's a little bit of a unique position in my view, but I also think that you're right that we probably need to explore the stipends for retention and recruitment scenarios. But it's a good point.
Is there, and thank you, Mario, for shining that on. It's important. And could we do, and I'm just thinking the math, penciling it out, 3,000, right? Can we think of a way, instead of being in the housing business, to just simply look at a different way to solve this problem where we're not stuck with a depreciating asset? Because this definitely will be. Nobody's going to be moving out by probably this area, right?
It's beautiful out there.
It's beautiful.
It's really nice.
And it's a beautiful unit too, as you can see.
Yeah, no, I saw that. That was nice. And just thinking long term, right? We have an immediate need. Mm-hmm. Does it make sense for us to take care of this employee, right? The intent was to meet this need. Could we do it in a way where we could still support her living in town and close, but perhaps not with building a house and being landlords per se? Throwing it out there. And I'm not sure what that math would look like, but 3,000 in a year in, 36,000 a year. I mean, it take a while to get there, but again, we're out of the game. We just have to pay the stipend.
That's an ongoing expense, though, right? So at some point, you start losing the economic advantage. 3,000 a month for 36,000 a year. It starts.
You do,
then
but
you're
you get
defeating.
the flexibility, right?
Yeah, I don't know. These are pretty well made. They're a lot different than they were in 1980. I can assure you that they're pretty well made. But I understand the point you're making. There's no question about it. Ms. Deasy, did you have something to add on this?
I was just thinking about that. And so if the first house lasted, we got a good, is that right? 40 years out of it. 40 years. And maybe we get more. And I'm also wondering about if we're collecting something like $16,000 a year, is that sort of put aside for repairs or something like that? I guess I have spent a little bit of time up at that location and done a few tours of the water treatment plant and seen what goes on there. And it does seem important to me to have someone up there. And I know that it is important to the water operator and the people who work up there. So, yeah, I don't know. I haven't done that math, but 40 years plus, does that work out and make it good?
I think not to be the devil's advocate here, right? This might work for the plant operator.
It's better than being the devil.
Yes.
So okay.
Yes, that's for later. It might work out for the current plant operator, but as we know, we can't divine where things are going to fork in the future.
True.
So, we're essentially narrowing pool, right, in a real way, right? Because if you have a family, these things aren't going to be big enough. There's going to be, I think it was brought up by staff in the staffing report. It's just something to be conscious of. So this could solve a need now, but then be not as useful down the road. And that's where sometimes staying liquid and just doing a stipend, yes, theoretically you could run into that situation, or theoretically we could run into a different situation and have a sunk cost on an asset. So just something for us to consider.
Again, I think the stipend idea is admirable and probably something worth exploring. We've actually been talking about that a little bit, but I think this is a unique situation that I'm comfortable, to be honest, going forward with it. We'll test it. I know, Ms. Patarotto, you had maybe something to say, but we'll test it in a motion and we'll see where we go. Sure. Yeah. I do want, just before we I guess one of the things that I want to talk about is just managing expectations. So, we have to be real careful and I think that the staff was as careful as possible because it was sort of a moving target. We weren't really sure what it is we were finally going to do. So I get that, how the cost went up. But just for the future, and I don't know if we could do anything different in this case, managing expectations, because when you put out a number like 150, then the community says it's going to be 150. If it's 151, the community will wonder what's going on. So that's just my 2 cents there. Ms. Patarotto.
Thank you. I just had one, I'm also in agreement with Councilmember Barrick about looking forward at some form of, there's different options that we've, that are to be considered as far as helping people with housing that are working for the city. And I think we should look into those options. But I think in this case, I think it is important that the individual actually does located on the property. My only question is, looking at the price and seeing that, all in, I think we were looking at like $330,000 all in, and looking at to rehab the building on the property could potentially be somewhere around 300 as opposed to 350. What would be, looking at those two, obviously the advantages of new home versus, obviously we all know when you're rehabbing a property, you run into potentially more issues than you bargained for and can go over budget pretty quickly. But are we demolishing the property, the house that's on the property? Are we including those kinds of costs as to what that's gonna be? Are we just abandoning it? Or have we considered, what's the time frame of if we were to rehab, what would be that time frame versus having a new structure put on the property?
So these are all items. Oh, Eric Jansen, Assistant Director of Public Works. Mr. Mayor, members of the council. We have already explored those options. Ultimately, the existing residence would go into a dumpster. It is not worth it to try to save it. This is a mobile home. It is over 40 years old. It has clearly served its purpose. And it has effectively not been habitable for the past, since 2020. And I'd also like to point out to council, as you are considering the cost alternatives, since 2020, we have also had to rely on temporary chief plant operators. And these are very expensive to procure. And I took the liberty of pulling one of our old resolutions for the OTS contract, and this happens to be 2024 number 102. And it discusses the 7 resolutions amending the contract over the course of a little over 3 years, landing at a final cost of $3,584,005. So a little over 1.1 million annually in order to have an OTS operator operate the plant for us. We had not in that time been able to attract regular staff members to the city, in part because we could not provide nearby housing, and in part because there was not affordable nearby housing. So $300,000 to build a new home to house our operator within a 5-minute walk of the plant is actually kind of a bargain. And I would argue that that is the cost-benefit analysis you should really be considering.
Just to clarify, Mayor and Council, that the numbers that Eric quoted, that was actually for both chief plant operators at the wastewater treatment plant and water treatment plant.
Indeed, thank you. All right. Back to the council. Any further comments? I'll look for a motion if there aren't any. Or questions? Did you have something more to add to it?
Did you get your question answered? Okay, so just to elaborate a little more on the remodel option. So once the price tag started getting over 250, 300, you know, it was kind of an uneasy scenario that we would spend that kind of money on a zero worth unit. It didn't sit well. And then, you know, the remodel was largely interior, and it was, you know, drywall, full bathroom, all that stuff. But essentially, it is cosmetic. And so we're not dealing with the insulation. We're not dealing with the exterior foundation. We're not dealing with the roof, the gutters, the awning, all those, you know, there's still quite a bit that would be left to be desired. So we had to cap it. You know, I couldn't even entertain a $350,000, $400,000 remodel quote. As far as timeline, you know, the work, it isn't crazy. I could imagine a remodel could happen within 6 months. As far as demolishing the unit, yes. So what I'm going to do is first post the unit on our bidding website for, hopefully someone will take it and pay us for it. That's a possibility. If that doesn't work, I'll try and post it on Facebook or something else like that, Craigslist, have someone else try and take it from us. If all those avenues don't work, then we're gonna have to pay to dispose of it, which was, the quote came back at $13,500. We do have a leftover, an abandoned dumpster next to the house up there that someone left in the city. It's like a 50-yard dumpster. The contractor agreed to use the dumpster. He can keep the dumpster and give us a discount. So we've also talked about the possibility of having staff do the demo. If there's some capacity, that's also an option. There's a couple avenues for cost cutting that we can employ, but those are things we'll argue about in the office.
All right.
Good discussion. I'll make a motion to adopt the staff recommendation.
Second.
All right. There's a motion and a second to adopt. Any further comment or questions or discussion? Seeing none. Mr. Bradley, roll call, please.
Councilmember Barrick?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Deasy?
Yes.
Councilmember Spadarato?
Yes.
Mayor Doring?
Yes. Thank you, Mario and Eric, for the discussion and the good information. All right. All right. We're now on to 13.3. Approval of a resolution authorizing recruitment for a city manager and provide direction regarding the selection of a firm to conduct the recruitment process. Is that you, Ms. Kellogg?
Yes, it is.
All
Thank you.
I'm used to seeing somebody over in that chair, Ms. Leach, but I
We need
assume,
to position
I assume
it a
it's
little bit.
your item. Ms. Kellogg, go ahead.
Yes.
Thank you.
So this staff report is to request authorization to recruit for a city manager. The position became available on April 13th. And this is a critical executive position that oversees the operations of the city. We did also provide in the staff report some proposals that we had received. We received responses from a total of 7 firms. Well, actually 6 firms. We requested from 7 and received 6 back. I did provide the proposals to City Council. They haven't been posted publicly yet, but we will add those to the website. We are still missing one of the proposals, which they'll have in a few days, but they did give us their price. And so the request is to move forward with the approving the resolution for recruiting. And I just want to mention that this is a crucial step for the next staff report on the agenda. In order for us to appoint the interim city manager, we do need to be actively recruiting for the position per CalPERS requirements. And so we would look for direction on which firm that council would like to recommend, or we could also recommend the council set up a council working group to look through the proposals and then make a recommendation at a later date on which firm. Thank you.
And that was something I was thinking about, a subcommittee, to get more of the flavor of what the community would be looking for filtered through us. And I maybe others have different ideas about what kind of a committee that would be, a two-member committee or something broader than that. I don't know. But, I mean, we represent the community, and community obviously has an interest in this position, what we're looking for. I think we represent that. We also have the similar interest that they're in the best interest of our community. But other thoughts about how we go forward with this? I do think it is important that we make a decision on going forward with recruitment, but then also maybe, I honestly need a little bit more time to go through each and every one of them and just kind of get a sense of it. Who was our last recruiter, for refresh my recollection, on the city manager?
It was Bob Murray and Associates.
Okay, all right. Ms. Barrick, I see you have a question maybe, or a comment?
No, just supporting you in that impulse of having a subcommittee look through these. A number of these firms I have experience with. I should disclose CPS I have experience with right now, so I probably disclose that. But I think a subcommittee would be a great idea. And
all right, I'm glad you volunteered for it. Any other comments or questions?
I'd be happy to.
I know, I'm just jesting. I don't want to press you, but other comments in terms of just the recruitment process and the logistics of going forward. Ms. Deasy.
Yeah, thank you. It's a big deal, so I'm interested in like the how it's all going to lay out. Like a subcommittee seems great, and community input, and so I absolutely understand we need to authorize the search. But I want to make sure that it doesn't get away from us. And I do have some thoughts on it, but I don't know. Is now the time? I'm interested in. I'll go ahead and say it. In thinking about, I'm interested in a couple of the firms that seemed maybe a little bit less traditional and able to attract non-traditional candidates. So while of course I can imagine we'd be looking at other city managers and people with a lot of municipal experience, given where we are and the efficiency study and some potential transformation, I'd love to see us open this up to others. So I don't know if that's like economic development leaders or senior leaders in like utilities and healthcare, maybe like some private sector folks if with the right sort of orientation. But that's my bent, is that I'd love to see us go with a firm that is willing to broaden the pool and let us take a look at all that's out there.
All right. Any other brief clarifying questions? I'd like to open it for public comment, and then we'll bring it back. Any public comment on the item? Okay, I'll close public comment, bring it back. Ms. Patterato, what are your thoughts?
So I'm in an agreement. I definitely think we should have some form of subcommittee and invite some more public interaction regarding what we are going to be looking for. And I would also like to do, as Vice Mayor Deasy was mentioning, making sure we're opening this pool to include not just necessarily city managers, not just people of a certain background, but looking at different backgrounds from different industries, CEOs, things of that nature. So I think the subcommittee is a great idea. I do obviously think we should move forward with the recruitment process, but I do think that we should be looking and making sure we're choosing the right firm to work with.
Okay. Other thoughts? Any other volunteers besides Mr. Barrick? Ms. Deasy?
I'm interested unless you would like to do it, and I would defer to you if you do, but I am interested.
Well, I think you have a passion for opening it up to others outside of the traditional norms, and I think that should be explored. I I know all these firms also, but it's up to the council if you want to do it. Ms. Barrick, are you interested in doing it? Okay. We want to be careful, make sure we have the right form of the motion that says we are directing recruitment, but we're also exploring the idea of a subcommittee or working group to vet the different proposals.
Right. Yeah.
I don't
yes,
want to get
Mr.
us in
Mayor.
trouble
So-
with the next item.
Sure. So I think what you could do is you could recommend approval of the resolution proposed by staff that addresses the recruitment aspect of this, and appoint a subcommittee consisting of Vice Mayor Deasy and Councilmember Barrick to work on reviewing the application or the proposals from the recruitment firms.
And they would have authority to choose one on their own or bring it back? What do you think?
No, I think they'd have to bring it back.
Okay.
Because we don't have the contract in front
All
of
right.
us.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by the mayor, second by Ms. Spataroto, as stated by our council so eloquently. Mr. Bradley?
Mayor Doring.
Yes. I'm not used to saying yes first, sorry.
Councilmember
Yes.
Spataroto.
Yes.
Councilmember Barrick.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Deasy.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for a good discussion. Onward. All right. Now we're on to item 13.4. This is an approval of a resolution appointing James McCann as interim city manager pursuant to Government Code Section 2122-1H, effective April 14th, 2026. And second item is approving an interim employment agreement with Mr. McCann for service as interim city manager. And I will look to Mr. Leach or whoever wants to present this staff, or whoever is going to present this staff item, please. You, Ms.
That would be
Kellogg,
me
again? Okay.
again,
Thank
yes.
you. Ms. Kellogg?
Yes. So the City Council has expressed a desire to appoint James McCann as the interim city manager. And because the interim incumbent is a retired annuitant receiving CalPERS benefits, the city must comply with the statutory requirements under the Government Code. And so upon the effective separation of the current city manager, the city manager position will become vacant. And at that time, Government Code Section 21221H authorizes the appointment of a retired annuitant to the vacant position on an interim basis. Council action is required to adopt a resolution ratifying the appointment of the retired annuitant as interim city manager and approving the interim employment agreement pursuant to Section 2122. And if you have any additional questions, I can provide more information.
Brief clarifying questions from my colleagues. Ms. Deasy.
Thank you. I just want, it's all great. And can you clarify how many hours Mr. McCann has left from the 960?
I believe when I looked at the record, he'd already utilized 260 hours, and this is based on fiscal year, so it will reset on July 1st.
All right, good question.
And Mr. Mayor, just to add, because
Please.
this is a executive contract, we need to disclose the terms of the contract in public session, and so.
I'll let you do that.
Right, thank you. So the contract is, it's an interim contract. He's being paid an hourly rate. The hourly rate is $161.76. That is consistent with the hourly rate that was in our publicly available salary schedule for our departing city manager. So it's basically straight across the line. And there's no other benefits or vacation pay or anything as part of the contract other than what's statutorily required of the city.
All right, thank you for that explanation. Other questions or comments? Anybody wishing to comment on this? Open for public comment, if I hadn't done it already. Any public comment? All right, I'll close public comment and bring it back. Did you want to make any comment before we do the final vote here? No pressure. I saw you working. Ms. McCann, how are you?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor
welcome.
and council members. I don't want to talk you out of anything.
I know, I'm worried about that.
So I would like to make a few remarks, and perhaps you should take action, then I can make my remarks.
This kind of reminds me of being in front of a judge, and you know you got the motion, and then you start talking, and then you talk the
don't
judge
talk
out
to
of
me.
it,
Right.
which has happened to me 1 or 2 times in my career. I've learned not to do that anymore. Mr. McCann, go ahead.
So I'd just like to maybe reintroduce myself.
Thank you. Good
and
idea.
Tell you a bit about what I would like to do if you'd like to have me come on board. So I guess first, just sincere thank you for the opportunity and for the confidence that it shows to me. I think it's an honor to be considered. I've been in the Napa Valley, my wife and I, for 40 years this year. We just sort of realized that. And I've worked for a number of cities here in the valley, Napa, Calistoga, and here in St. Helena for about 20 years altogether. So I'm familiar with the issues that affect the Napa Valley and particularly up valley cities. I've had a long career in local government, 35 years, and so I've been exposed to a number of the issues that are in front of St. Helena. There's no doubt that challenges exist here in the community. I recognize it's been a very difficult a period of time that the community has experienced, the council, the staff. I think that these challenges, though, can be addressed, and they have to be addressed. They have to be overcome. I think that they can if we all choose to work together to solve the problems. I think it's time to reset and to recommit to a bright and very positive future for St. Helena. I think there's a lot to celebrate here in St. Helena, and I think there's an awful lot that's yet to be achieved by the community. I think those things can be achieved if we bring a positive and respectful and constructive approach to the issues. And if you choose me, that's going to be the approach that I'm going to take. I think we're very fortunate to have a very talented group of people, the city staff. I've come to know them, and I know that they're very friendly. More importantly, they're very capable, they're extremely hardworking, and they're dedicated. I'm committed to engaging with the St. Helena community, the residents, the businesses, the city council, of course, the various advocacy groups, commissions, committees, as well as our employees, in an open and transparent and responsive and respectful manner. I'll seek and will welcome regular input and advice from all parties along the way. I'm not doing this for the money, and I'm not doing it to build my resume. In fact, I don't even think I have a resume anymore. I'm done with that. But it's because I have a personal and sincere appreciation and affection for St. Helena. I've been in the area for quite some time, and I've enjoyed St. Helena over all of these years. And I believe I can help. I can help to restore trust, confidence, and pride. And I think I can help to advance some projects, programs, and needs in the community. And then finally, I want to do this because the mayor's asked me to. And I know that Paul is a very good mayor, and he's a very hard person to refuse. I'll need support, I'll need advice, I'll need occasional forgiveness, and most importantly, I'll need broad, sustained, constructive partnership with the community. If we have those things, then I'm in, and I'd love to do it.
All right, did he talk you out of it, Ms. Barrick?
I'm all in.
All right, thank you for those comments, much appreciated. Back to the council for further deliberation, look for a motion. If we don't have any other comments, has everybody said their piece at this point?
I'll make a motion to appoint Jim McCann as the interim city manager.
Second.
Mr. Bradley, there's a motion and a second. Roll call.
Councilmember Barrick?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Deasy?
Yes.
Councilmember Spoterato?
Yes.
Mayor Doring?
Welcome aboard, yes. All right, thank you very much. Looking forward to working with you, Mr. McCann, once again. All right. Okay, we're now on to, by the way, I neglected, I may or may not have said this, but on the prior item, 13.3, we did receive a lot of public comment in writing. Mario Trincaro, Elaine DeMann, Kelly Wheaton, Lana Ivanoff, Tamara Sorensen, Colleen Gillespie. I neglected to say that, but thank you for that written public comment. All right, now we are on to our last, I believe it's our last item. Item 13.5, this is approval of a resolution authorizing a budget increase in the amount of $457,287 utilizing general fund reserve to cover expenses relating to city manager separation agreement. Is that you again, Ms. Kellogg?
It is.
Thank
It'll
you.
be my
You're
last item.
busy
Yes.
lady tonight.
Yes, thank you. So following recent discussion, City Council and the City Manager have mutually agreed to enter into a separation agreement. And the agreement is irrevocably signed effective April 13th. The separation agreement includes a severance provision equivalent to 12 months of city manager's current base salary totaling $336,467 to be paid in a lump sum, less applicable taxes and withholdings. In addition, the city manager will receive a cash out of all accrued and unused leave balances, including vacation, sick leave, and floating holidays, which totals $120,820. This resolution is authorizing a one-time budget increase in the amount of $450,287. There are a possibility that there will be some salary savings within the budget. Because of the short time that we had to prepare the staff report, we weren't able to do that complete analysis. But I will report back at the end of the fiscal year any reduction to the impact of general fund reserves for this action. And I'm open to any questions. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Walsh, inquiring minds want to know. So there's a lot of discussions that we've had on this matter in closed session, and I just wanted maybe allow you to give sort of a brief explanation as to what it is we can and cannot say in the public, if you're willing to do that, because the lay folks out in the public, they're calling for transparency. They want to know all the details about our deliberations and decision-making process in closed session. And I know from my experience that is not a good idea and basically an unlawful thing to do. So talk about that a little bit.
Sure, I would just say that was, the discussions that we had in closed session involved a confidential personnel matter, and so it's not something that we disclose the specific reasoning or the discussions happened behind closed doors or disclose out to the public. What we can say is what's in the separation agreement, which is a publicly available document, and that stated that the council informally requested that Mr. Camello tender his resignation, and as a result of that, he decided to leave his position based on mutual agreement with the city council. And under his contract, when that occurs, there are certain provisions that come into place, which include the payment of the severance and the cash out of the cash out of leave. So that's all publicly disclosable in the document. We complied with the terms of his employment agreement, entered in the separation agreement, and so we're making an adjustment to account for that.
All right, thank you for that. Let me take a time to open it for public comment. Seeing none, I'll bring it back. I'll close public comment, bring it back. Any questions or other comments before we move on the item? It's fairly clear in my mind. I think it is kind of frustrating for the public not to have the benefit of a lot of work that we did in closed session, a lot of good discussion in closed session, and that's basically all I can say about that. Anybody wishing to move the item?
I'll make a motion to approve a resolution authorizing a budget increase in the amount of $457,287 utilizing general fund reserves to cover expenses related to the city manager separation agreement.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Again, I want to acknowledge public comment received in written form from Teresa Scripps and Elaine DeMann. Elaine was busy today. A lot of letters from Elaine. Thank you, Elaine. So we have a motion. Who was the second? Was that you, Ms. Potteretto? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Bradley, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Deasy?
Yes.
Councilmember Spoterato?
Yes.
Councilmember Barrick?
Yes.
Mayor Doring?
Yes. All right, thank you for that discussion and that motion. Now we're on to item 14, City Council reports. Anyone interested or dying to make a report on your activities outside of our City Council on behalf of the City of St. Helena? Ms. Deasy? Sure.
I think I will. Can you stop me if I am repeating this? I don't think that I have reported since then, but at the Climate Action Committee meeting, there's continued discussions on the RCAP and where it's going and the CEQA analysis, or whatever it's called, the CEQA study. One interesting comment on potentially elevating the sort of heat reduction where there may be we need to back off a little bit on building codes. So I thought that was interesting, especially because at the same meeting, Paul Asmith gave a presentation to the entire to the committee on our redwood forest. It was very well received, and I think there's some field trips happening. So it was fun to hear him and be a little bit of a leader. I know that when Calistoga gave their presentation on one of their interesting facilities out there, I felt a little jealous. So I was very proud of that presentation.
All right, thank you for your good work there. Any other comments or questions? Or reports? The only thing I would say is just briefly, at our last LAFCO meeting, we appointed a new public member. And so Ken Leary, who was a longstanding public member from the city of, he didn't represent the city of American Canyon, but he's from the city of American Canyon as a public member. He was replaced by a gentleman whose name escapes me right now. He's a land use lawyer who lives in Napa, has a young family. His business, most of his work, his legal work is in Sacramento. I was very impressed with him, and I voted for him, as did the majority of our current LAFCO. So there'll be some changes there, and bless you. We have our NVTA meeting tomorrow. Nothing from the last meeting that I can think about that I can actually disclose publicly, but onward. So thank you for that. All right. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for being here. Welcome aboard, Ms. Mikhail, and welcome aboard, Mr. McCann, once again. Thank you all. Have a good night. And I'm signing your contract right now.